This week on the Spotlight, we talk to a new White Sox pitcher and we get some insights. We also have part two of this man who you met last week on our show. And then we have the manager, Robin Ventura, who does pretty much a weekly thing. And finally, we say thanks to the Blackhawks. Final four, but 5 wins short of the Cup. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. It's the 25th year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. You've got to get to the Cove for Benkowski Trivia. Wednesday, June 18th at 8 p.m. Great people, great game at 1750 East 55th Street, right over by the lake. See you at the Cove for my trivia game and fun times. Wax on, wax off, a great salon and spa for men's haircuts and women too. 1044 West Taylor Street. I go there, you should too. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. T-Wax Company has real estate investments. You can buy Chicagoland properties and make some money. Profit opportunity since 1985. Call my friend Mr. Thomas at 773-456-3057. Real estate investments make money. Call Mr. Thomas. You've got to get to Mr. C's Midway Bar. They're open till 2 a.m. every day. Best Bloody Marys for 65 years. Great neighborhood prices at 4654 West 63rd Street. It's a fun place. Watch the Blackhawks, Bulls, you name it. Mr. C's, 4654 West 63rd. Calabria Imports is a great place to get food. Of course, Italian food with their deli. Mention this TV ad for 10% off. They have catering, sandwiches, 1905 West 103rd Street. The last time I was there, I got some ham. I got all kinds of other accessories at Calabria Imports. Wax on, wax off, a great salon and spa. I go there, you should too. Call them at 312-226-1473. Men's cuts, women head to toe. Nails, 1044 West Taylor Street in Chicago. And they even have great hours, open each day at 10 a.m. You've got to get to Amelia's Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner daily. Lamo de Cerdo, Portrero and Mar. Ceviche al Limon. Salmon al Carbone. New cocktail menu. Margaritas, martinis, sangria. It's at 46th and Halsted. You'll have a good time and you'll enjoy the food at Amelia's Bar and Grill. We're back on the Spotlight, and the White Sox have a wonderful Hispanic connection with Cuban players, Dominican players, Venezuelans, and finally a guy with roots in Mexico, Javi Guerra. Did I get it right? So we talked to Javi, and he has some interesting things to tell about his early career, his late career, and his right now career with the Chicago White Sox coming out of the bullpen. And as we enter June here, it's interesting kind of race shaping up. Your team has shown some fantastic hitting, and now it is up to people like yourself to stabilize the pitching staff and keep yourself in the race. Can tell us what you will be adding to the White Sox this year?
More than anything, I just know that I can help. I don't know where or kind of how it shapes up, but I'm ready to take the ball whenever they give it to me and just kind of earn what I get.
In your past bullpen experiences, what innings did you find yourself in? What role was the most common for you?
Given the last couple of years, I've been all over the place, from long to, back end. So, what I feel most comfortable with is just, understanding, the back end of the games. 7, 8, 9, kind of been kind of a little bit more my liking, but, more than anything, you'll earn what you get, and I got to come out here and pitch the ball and throw as well as I can and earn whatever I grab.
Oh, that's a good philosophy. When you were growing up, what part of the country were you, and who were some of your role models, team-wise or player-wise?
Growing up, I'm from Denton, Texas, about an hour north of Dallas. I grew up watching a lot of the Ranger guys. Grew up a lot of college guys around the neighborhood. But I idolized guys like Pedro Martinez. The guy, when he stood on the mound, you'd have thought he was 7 foot tall. He hit anybody who he wanted to, and he controlled the game and really just set the pace and the tone right out of the gate. I like guys like that. I really like guys who attack the zone and give it all they got every pitch.
And when you bring that mentality to your game, I mean, a lot of that, to be blunt, is strike one, isn't it?
Absolutely. A lot of it's just attacking the zone. Really making sure you're in your attack zone as opposed to the hitter feeling like he's a little more lax and confident. Attack him before he attacks you.
Do you have a preference to come in at the beginning of an inning versus a jam and you get the call then?
All that stuff just kind of takes over. Adrenaline takes over everything. For the most part, once you get that call and you're ready to go and that phone rings, that gate opens, you're good to go. I mean, if you're not ready, then you don't need to be in the pen.
Yeah, but I think adrenaline is a two-edged sword sometimes, because I've seen numerous times where, I'm not speaking about you, but any reliever comes in and they're so jacked up, it's, everything's high in the zone and they're trying to throw the ball through the catcher's mitt.
Yeah, I mean, it works that way sometimes, Baseball's funny. Sometimes you throw it down the middle and they pop it up. Sometimes you make your pitch and they break the bat and, get a little flare. So, you just got to be able to, you got to be confident. You got to be ready to roll. Just trust your stuff. Go out there and know you belong.
Tell us a little bit about the mood in this bullpen, about the other relievers and the tone set by Thigpen and Salas.
Really, it's a good bullpen. You go in there, you see a lot of guys. Everyone throws firm. Everyone's got experience. A little younger, but for the most part, you got Belly, really leading the way. He's able to kind of just really set the tone for us and let us know kind of what's expected. Downs is the veteran who kind of coaches you along and lets you know the situations at hand. And with Thigpen, helping us out, it's been a blessing, kind of just rolling over here and getting those guys that kind of help you put your foot in the door.
How about when you come into the game? Do you have a little better chemistry with Flowers or Nieto, or is it the same?
The same. I mean, either way, I'm still getting to know both of them, and they're both still getting to know me. Really just letting guys know what I'm comfortable with and, just staying aggressive. That's really my philosophy.
I'll ask you what the catcher asks. What are your top 3 pitches in order?
More than anything, I got 5. Whatever I feel comfortable with in the pen going out to that day. I mean, that could change every day. That's why it's kind of fun having a multitude of pitches because, every day your 3 could change. But just you got to be very aware of, where you're at and kind of how you feel that afternoon.
Okay, you got to have a couple of kinds of fastballs.
Fastball,
right?
Sinker, cutter change, and curveball.
Okay. I was afraid you were going to say knuckleball on the back end.
No.
That's in the distant future, or what?
Everyone kind of messes with one. We all kind of secretly want to be knuckleballers at heart, but we'll let that be.
I don't know if this is true for you, but it was for me. If I'm left-handed and I try to put the screwgee on it, the elbow starts to hurt. But if I just let it go natural, it will take off a little bit, particularly on the changeup. Do you turn your changeup over a little bit?
I try not to, but if you look at anybody that pitches, everyone does. Everyone really pronates. I think it's a part of the game. It's part of the way we throw, and I think it's a part of why a lot of injuries kind of happen here and there. But throwing a ball is not natural either, so kind of just let that be.
To sum up, your offense has been really solid. 5 runs a game, near the top of the league all year long. Who impresses you most in that 1 through 9?
Getting to know the guys really is just, every day somebody new impresses me. You think you know one guy, and the next day he shows you somebody else. I tell you, the guy who really, just because I've seen him in AAA a little bit because he came down to play with us, was Gillespie. He goes up to the bat. Anytime you see a guy go up there with no batting gloves, and grind it out, this guy makes great contact, and he hits the ball every time on the screws. He really wows me.
Yeah, that's kind of 1940s style, isn't it?
I love it. I love those guys.
Coming off a 4-head game, too.
Oh, trust me, that guy's going to be very good for a while.
Well, I wish you good luck in all you're doing, and if there's any interleague left, maybe you can get an AB and see what you can do. But I think you're going to wear gloves, right?
Trust me, I'll be in the back of the box wearing gloves and hoping I just don't get hit.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Salerno's has Benkowski Trivia, Thursday, June 12th at 8 p.m. Easy to reach at Grand and Racine with the big parking lot. They got great food, great drink, great people. You'll be facing off against teams like the Sharks, the Logan Squares, etc. Salerno's, my trivia, Grand and Racine. Cornelio's Mobile Auto Glass. They come to you. You call them at 773-908-6081. Lowest prices, new and used. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They'll do your windshield, back window, or sides. They did a great job for me. They'll do a great job for you, and you'll be amazed at how quickly they come in and finish it up. Cornelio's Mobile Auto Glass. You've got to get to Amelia's Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner daily. La Mode Cerdo, Porchero and Mar, Ceviche al Limon, Salmon al Carbone, new cocktail menu, margaritas, martinis, sangria. Easy to reach at 46th and Halsted. Check out Amelia's Bar and Grill. You'll be glad you did. We're back on the spotlight. We're talking to Jake Petrishka, and a very interesting, wide-ranging interview. And we talk now about who's carrying that bag of supplies into the bullpen. And he's got to be the carrier.
Yep, he's the carrier for now, and maybe someday we'll get another new guy, but ideally we won't, and he'll just have to wear it all season.
Just for the record, I didn't make that up. In the past, it's had a schoolgirl or something really.
Each team has their own thing, and we kept ours simple this year.
Yeah, that's funny. Cut down the embarrassment. A little bit about your starting pitchers. It seems like, particularly with Chris back, things are kind of falling into better place, and it might actually reduce the workload for you guys. Are you content coming in at an inning at a pop?
Oh yeah, no, I'll come in an inning every day if that's what it takes, and yeah, having a guy like Chris back is huge. He sets a stone for the entire pitching staff, whether it be starters or relievers. He sets up a high standard for us.
That was pretty amazing when he had that long absence, and then he comes in and he's 5 2/3 no. What were you thinking watching that?
Oh, we were happy to have him back and wishing his pitch count could have been higher so he could have kept going.
Yeah, exactly. Talk a little bit about your past experiences, and there must be a time in your life when you were starting. What was the farthest into a game you ever went?
I did go 9 innings in a college game, but I was kind of the guy who wasted a lot of pitches when I started. So my pitch count was always a little high towards the 6th, 7th inning. So a lot of 6, 7 innings, and that's kind of why they're like, you don't go too much deep or too often. We'll put you in the pen and let you play there.
Yeah, I know that we talked last year, but could you refresh our audience on where you grew up and like maybe some of your role models were as a youth ball player?
I grew up in Minnesota, just watching the Twins always play. All those guys. Remember Radke, Santana, those guys back when they were with the Twins, and yeah, just anyone that would play.
Yeah, but you actually survived a short season, because people from the Midwest, they didn't have the luxury of playing like Arizona, California, Florida. Really, to make it out of Minnesota as a pro is extra outstanding.
Yeah, no, I always kept busy in the winter with hockey, so at least I had that to keep my coordination up to par. But yeah, my baseball season wasn't nearly as long as these other ones.
Exactly. Do you mind talking about hockey for a second?
Yeah.
The NHL playoffs are ongoing, and not a hockey fan, but the Kings and Blackhawks are winding down. Mm-hmm. What kind of fan were you growing up?
Mainly just whatever hockey was on, because Minnesota didn't have a team for a little bit, but then they got the Wild back. So then I've been a Wild fan since then, and it was a good series watching the Wild and Blackhawks play.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with either team that got to move on for playing for Chicago now. Kind of like the way Chicago plays hockey. They got a good team. Yeah,
very, very talented. And, not unlike the White Sox in a sense, some youth. Mm-hmm. And they've put it together a couple times with some titles, but, your team certainly has that team of the future look to it. To wrap up, on offense, do you see this team being a 5-run per game type team as we move on?
For sure. Our offense can be very potent, and some games all it misses is one hit, and then there's going to be those other games that they put up 12, 15 runs that you got to watch out for this offense, that's for sure.
Well, continued success, and hope you get in there in the 7th and 8th and 9th if you want, and just challenge.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and a fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget the Illinois Lottery, too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski.
Little Frank's Pizzeria and Bar. Easy to reach, 6353 West 79th Street. On Thursdays, $1.50 Miller and Old Style. Trivia alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. They have $15 large pizza and pitcher all day, every day. Little Frank's on 79th. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. All right, this week, Robin Ventura starts off by talking about Alexi Ramirez, all-star shortstop.
He's pretty good. I mean, he's at the top. We haven't seen everybody play, but he's having a great year and he's at the top. I know that.
Was it hard to see what he went through last year and just that he was out there, but maybe he wasn't mentally?
Yeah, I think everybody has different levels of going through things, and his was pretty traumatic. And I think some guys just it becomes tougher when things like that happen. And this year he just seems to be pretty focused on what he's doing and going about his business. But I mean, it's not that he didn't care or try hard. It's just part of going through life and things happening, and sometimes you can't compartmentalize it.
I know you had 4 days of Jeter this past weekend, but you kind of understand if the voting ends up like that. Where
what's that?
If you kind of understand if Jeter ends up being, Lexi's numbers are better than any shortstops in the American League, but Jeter's winning the voting.
Are you talking All-Star game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean that. I think it's been like that for a while. So you understand why that's happening, and that's just part of the process that we have. But it doesn't. For us, it doesn't diminish what Alexi's been doing so far this year.
You think he gets very little credit for being a complete player? I mean, he had 30-plus stolen bases last year, close to 50 doubles. You think he doesn't get much credit outside of this clubhouse here?
Well, I think part of that is, some of it's the way we played last year. And I think that, if we were on a winning team, he would get noticed more. That's just part of what we have to get ourselves out of and play better and win games, and then that comes with it. But again, he's played well. I think this is as good in the 3 years I've been here. This is as good as he's been going.
This year, his average with runners in scoring position, stellar, and I personally am enjoying him going the other way too.
Yeah, I mean, I think parts of last year he was a little pull happy. And this year, he's doing a little bit of everything. I think even his power numbers are up, being able to hit home runs. So it's not that he's doing one thing or another. He's kind of combined it all to, really become a complete hitter at the plate. And I think for us, I like where he's at in the order, because if guys are on base, he's the guy you want up there.
That he can play every day, is that more the fact that he's kind of a freak of nature, or is it the way that he prepares himself?
Slightly a freak of nature. I would say that's a fair assessment. He does love playing every day. The days even in the past I've given him a day off. it just doesn't sit well with him. He shows up every day really preparing to play and truly enjoys being out there every day, and it's a nice thing to have, especially if you're a shortstop.
If you're staying in a pennant race, are you ever concerned that he doesn't have much weight to lose if he's grinding away in September?
I've never noticed him losing much weight, so I think between him and Sale, it might be a race.
Adam, he's been getting on base, doing whatever he needs to do. If it's a walk, if it's a single the other way, is that easy to do when you know that there are guys behind you in the lineup that you can depend on, like there are this year?
Yeah, I think that's also, part of the problems that we had last year. If everybody's not hitting, every guy wants to go to the plate and do something more impactful, I guess is the word for it. But they're trying to do too much instead of just play the game, let the game come to you, put the bat on the ball, and then whatever happens happens. But when you put yourself in a hole, everybody seems to want to do more, whether it was either offensively or even defensively or pitching. That's the stuff that can happen when you put yourself in a hole. And I think this year, the way it started, it's just evolved over that, and you can rely on that this year that you couldn't have relied on that last year. So everybody's still staying within themselves just to play the game and do what they do best instead of trying to do things above and beyond just to make up for it.
Does the way Nieto came in yesterday with a starter he hadn't worked with give you more confidence in playing him, just the way he handled that situation?
I don't think anybody really, bothered to think about it. He was going to go in there and catch no matter what. We didn't have anybody else, and it's a nice step forward for him to be able to come in there and take over where Flo was out. So it's good to see.
Who's your third catcher?
Right, I think it's Connor. I think Connor he put the gear on last year, I think, but he's probably ahead of Larry.
Not gonna hurt him.
No, he's bowed out. He's bowed out. I've taken him out of the running. He was in there, but
Can he even crouch anymore?
he didn't.
Can he get down?
No, he's been out of the running. We're not going to put him in there.
Somebody's going to ask about Chris Sale's pitch count. I'll save you that nonsense.
I eat on the pasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people. Have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years. Excellence. Top billiard tables. The place where the action is. Jukebox Billiards. 7910 Calumet in Munster. We're back in the spotlight. 2008 White Sox. Take it away with PK. And the tough road ahead for the Chicago White Sox.
Other teams have struggles too. I mean, Detroit's not doing great right now. Minnesota blew a game last night. I mean, everybody's got their own problems. So it's just a matter of who's going to have the least amount of problems the next 3 weeks. And I have no idea who that's going to be. Anybody who says they do, they don't know either. I mean, because it's all up in the air how it's all going to shake out. It's just going to be a matter of who plays the best, and you're not going to know until the last couple of days of the season probably.
Well, if you guys win the next couple of days, obviously you pick up ground on either of the two teams, but do you have a preference which one wins in that series?
I don't know. We were talking about it. I mean, it's kind of like no matter how you look at it, I don't know what to root for or what to look for. I guess. I mean, most people would probably say just split, so you gain on both of them. Have them split. But and other people say you can't win the division. Mathematically, it's easier for you guys to win the wild card. So have Detroit sweep. But it seems like you don't want to give up on the division yet. We still have 3 head-to-head games with Detroit, and you feel like if you can get within maybe a game and a half or 2 games by the time you play them, you have a shot to overtake them. But you also finished the season with 3 against Minnesota. So, I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios, but, no matter what the scenario, it all comes down to us taking care of our own business and winning this series. And if we don't do that, or we don't keep winning our games as we go, it's not going to matter what those teams do because we'll allow them to both get in.
How you handle your pitchers is a key for a major league manager, and Ozzie talks about handling his starting rotation guys.
Going to be in the playoffs.
I think so. There's no doubt. I think whoever pitched better in the stretch is the one who's going to get in. You know what I mean? Now we have 3 teams in the pennant race. Now we have those 3 teams. They got to come up and pitch. Whoever pitched better in those games is the one. It should be there. You know what I mean? I think the way we're pitching right now, there's no doubt our offense is going to be there. There's no doubt we're going to score some runs, and it's just part to help those guys to do it. But I think the way we pitch, hopefully we continue to do it. We should be fine. You know what I mean? He's always say it's all about pitching. It's not just me. I think every manager in baseball will tell you the same way. And hopefully we'll continue to do it.
Is there any concern about Burley and his back soreness?
No, not really. You know what I mean? Everybody in baseball right now is banged out. You know what I mean? Burr, we just sent him to Chicago just in case because he was throwing the side and it was wet and sleep over and you know what I mean? We want to know exactly what he have. You know what I mean? We don't know. We don't want to take a chance. Anyway, he's not going to do anything in Boston because he's not starting this. I think that's why we made the decision to send him to Chicago and see how he do. Bobby is ready to go. He talked to me, told Little Billy. He's in great shape, and hopefully those soreness just go out the way. But it's not easy. We're in September, and most of the players in baseball they're sore. Hopefully it's nothing real bad.
How about Hermanson passing his first test last night? How do you plan on using him? How can you use him with his back being how it is?
Well, he throw the ball like it's easy to throw the ball when you're about 10 runs or 8 runs. I mean, he throw the ball great. He throws strikes. That's more important. Other song when you back in the big league, you get a little anxious and you little overexcited. And I think I like what I see. It's up to the day we have to see him. I don't see him throw back-to-back days because the people we have in the bullpen, we have plenty of guys down there. But I'm seeing. I'd like to see him with the game on the line bring out.
This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch, very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.